Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Malabite Efene.
Good morning, Ruben. Good morning, Rufai.
Good morning.
Ayo.
Malab.
Yes, Ruben.
You're not allowed.
Ruben.
It's just for them.
Let's start the review. With this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record, the lead story, UK, Jonathan, Archbishop of Canterbury, appeal for violence-free, fair elections. United Kingdom temporarily closes visa application centers ahead of polls. No Nigerian should be intimidated in voting candidates of their choice. ACF, NEF, Ohaneze won. Nigerian Labour Congress urges workers to turn out massively to vote on Saturday. Yes, 3 days to E-Day, Election Day. And of course, all stakeholders are gearing up for that day. And the advisory coming from the UK, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, former president, embodiment of peaceful election, and Archbishop of Canterbury, all appealing for violence-free election. Of course, Ohaneze, Ndigbo, the Arewa Consultative Forum, as well as the Northern Elders Forum, are also cautioning that nobody should be intimidated, harassed on account of his or her choice of candidate to vote for. And of course, the voting is secret ballots. How people will discern who groups have voted for, of course, based on the demography of area people live in. But this is one warning I think Nigerians should take very seriously. Everybody is free to vote for any candidate of his or her choice. And nobody and no group should also warn another group as to who they should vote for or who they should not vote for. And Goodluck Ebele Jonathan urging Nigerians to eschew violence and hatred as they go out to vote on election day. And this election, according to him, and that is just the statement of fact, is about consolidating democracy. Nigerians, go out there and elect your leaders of your choice. Those you can hold to account, those you can trust to defend your future and guarantee unity, peace, and prosperity of our great country. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan putting out that statement. And of course, the UK also taking more than passing interest on the election. Of course, the relationship between the United Kingdom and Nigeria dates back centuries, as it were. So for the UK, Andrew Mitchell, the UK's Minister of State for Development and Africa, saying that Nigeria matters to the United Kingdom. And we are following up on the run-up to this presidential, National Assembly, as well as gubernatorial polls. We're following up very closely. He's saying, of course, Andrew Mitchell had met with the 4 leading presidential candidates as well as the INEC chair. So the world is watching Nigeria. Nigerians are ready. Saturday is the day for Nigerians to go there and elect the next president who will take over from President Muhammadu Buhari come May 29, 2023. Now, the Guardian newspaper reporting the Supreme Court order. APC governors filed contempt action against Malami Emefiele. Presidential directive on 200 naira note stand. CBN insists to arrest, prosecute anyone spreading fake news. Aisha Buhari denies posting fake CBN statement on social media. Keep your old naira. Buhari Emefiele, not relevant after presidential election, says Oshiomhole. Well, if Oshiomhole has been quoted by The Guardian is saying this, then I can understand why Godwin Obaseki, the governor of Edo State, and the government of that state have declared him a person that should be arrested for inciting the public. Well, I hope the comrade Adams Oshiomhole will deny this, because this in itself is unbecoming of a former governor of a state, former chairman of the ruling party, if indeed this statement attributed to him is true. Now, Aisha Buhari denies posting fake CBN statement on social media. Well, we heard that her social media account was hacked, but it is the same social media account she used to retweet the statement by El-Rufai concerning the naira. Was it, well, we need to find out whether it's the same account. But the issue of the Supreme Court ruling, the Supreme Court is holding court today. All stakeholders, all parties will come and stake their claim and make their position. How the Supreme Court will rule, we all wait with bated breath today. But as we speak, only the old 200 naira note is valid. According to the CBN, it's still a legal tender. The old 500 naira note, the old 1,000 naira note, no longer being used for transactions. Of course, Nigerians are wiser. Even at the marketplace, no local trader will take those two notes from you. But politicians, in their trickery, are still putting it in envelope and giving out to Nigerians, assuring them that something will happen. I hope those Nigerians will be wise, throw away those notes, or if they can, take them to the central bank and explain their source of getting those notes at this hour, and let's move on. Now, the Vanguard newspaper, naira redesign. Only old 200 naira notes reissued. CBN insists that denies directing banks to receive old 500 naira and 1,000 naira notes. Buhari made mistake. Governor El-Rufai says APC governors not against naira redesign. Kogi, Kaduna, Zamfara accuse Malami Emefiele of violating Supreme Court order. Now, the Punch newspaper also reporting the cash crunch, naira crisis, cash trap. Nigerians bank on Supreme Court as hearing resumes today. Governors demand Malami Emefiele sanctioned for contempt of court. Banks extend old 1,000 naira, 500 naira notes collection mop up to April 10. Panic in black market as dollar naira rate fluctuates sharply. Now, what I don't get, the banks, the commercial banks that is, are collecting, are receiving the old 1,000 naira and the old 500 naira note. But CBN is still insisting that they have not given any such instruction. Well, we need more clarity because banks don't act on their own. The banks know that when they collect this money, they will credit the accounts of those who are depositing this money at one point. But the CBN is still denying that, despite the fact that in certain locations, central bank directors actually urged those who have approached the central bank to go to their commercial banks and do same, because they cannot handle all deposits, as it were. But we need more clarity from the CBN governor on this. It's not enough to just deny what is going on. Nigerians are saying that this is actually going on in the banks. So we need more clarity. Now, the Daily Sun newspaper, heavy security at INEC offices. Sensitive materials arrive, states FCT. Security agents begin show of force in Anambra. Below the photograph in the Daily Sun, we are following events in Nigeria closely. UK reiterates visa sanctions on electoral offenders. INEC accredits 146,913 observers to monitor elections. The Daily Trust newspaper, INEC gets cash for election. Rex to collect money from CBN state branches. EFCC, ICPC, others to monitor spending. It's wrong. CBN usurping INEC's independence. Falana is saying that. Now, if we just look at the New Telegraph newspaper, 72 hours to election, CBN settles INEC ad hoc staff's payment. We are aware of plots to ignite unrest. Subvert polls, federal government is warning. INEC engages 200,000 National Youth Service Corps members, says 146,913 observers will monitor process. Civil Defense Corps deploys 102,000. NCC dedicates 622 as election toll-free incidents hotline. British government will punish politicians involved in poll rigging violence. Now, 622 is a number which the National Communications Commission has dedicated. So if you see something on election, they call that line. It's the hotline you can call toll-free on election day. If you see something going on toward, call that line. And of course, the security agencies, INEC, they will be alerted immediately. Now, below the photograph of New Telegraph newspaper, I won't engage in politics of vendetta. Atiku tells Wike, says his antics can't stop PDP's imminent victory. Now, if we look at the leadership newspaper, 2023 elections, vote where you are. Northern Elders Ohaneze tells Nigerians, demand adequate security for citizens. INEC clears 146,913 election observers. Now, the Nation newspaper, yes. Colorful roadshow draws curtain on Tinubu's campaign. Yes. Buhari, I congratulate next president. Crowd share APC candidate riding on open vehicle from airport through Oshodi, Mushin Ojuelegba to stadium. President, governors, ministers at grand rally. Ex-Lagos governor, I will work for Nigeria. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the standard bearer of the APC, rounding off his campaign in his home state, Lagos. Now, the Business Day newspaper, controversy over clerics' endorsement of candidates. Yes, the Business Day newspaper is reporting that Nigeria, being a very religious country, clerics are playing a role in helping Nigerians decide who they should vote for. Yes, quoting a new poll by Palof, a not-for-profit organization, it shows that the guidance from religious leaders is among the factors that will influence Nigerian voters on election day. Now, the foreign newspapers quickly. The Times of London. Putin signals the return of Cold War nuclear tests. Yes, Vladimir Putin, in his annual speech, ahead of the anniversary of the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, is saying that he will no longer cooperate with America on the nuclear treaty. What is this? Yes, it's pulled out. And the implication of that for the war. Are we returning to the Cold War era? So it seems. The Financial Times reporting Sunak weighs 5% public sector pay rise after £30 billion treasury windfall. Push to end wave of strikes. Officials see low risk of setting benchmark. Nurses call up strike. Ruben Rufai and Ayo. A lot to talk about.
Real quickly, I'd like to start on the local scene, then I'll go to the foreign scene. I think politicians should watch it. all of this shenanigan playing out, and I'm saying that vis-a-vis what was circulating yesterday, you will know definitely it was spinned. People cloned the CBN official templates and wrote out a statement. And a lot of people pushed the narrative until it was debunked by the CBN. I think politicians should stop all this rubbish they do. Let's not overheat the polity. This country is for all of us. Just like how the rallies went peacefully yesterday, and somebody said, Rufai, you observed the rallies went peacefully yesterday, but Obedient had a rally and they were attacked in Lagos. So all of a sudden, they've been protesting about naira scarcity. They didn't protest about that during rally. They were all calm. But other people came to rally in Lagos. They were attacked and no arrests have been made. Nobody has been prosecuted. So the security agency should look at all of this and be calm. And on further introspection, I now see why the Edo State Commissioner of Information and the commissioners in Edo State are saying they should call Mr. Adams Oshomole. That Guardian report you cited,
yes.
I've seen the video evidence of when he said it in Auchi, pretty much inciting the people against the president and the CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele. It's not good for an elder statesman to do that. And also, I think I made an analysis and I said, it may be politically motivated between Obaseki. I take my own words back because I fact-check myself when I'm correct. Because I have now been made to see the new video where Adams Oshomole was telling Kabaka and a couple of other people that they can't come and intimidate us in Benin. And when they saw somebody was recording, they said, shut down that recording. I saw the recording yesterday. I had not seen that recording before now. So all of these two things points towards something with the one in Auchi yesterday, which they have video evidence for. We can't allow elder statesmen and politicians, because things don't favor them, to go against the president and say all sorts. In court, they will meet today, and they have already filed contempt against Malami. They filed contempt against Emefiele and all of that. Let's see what the Supreme Court will rule today. But all of these shenanigans, I keep begging for politics. And it's not that when these leaders get in there, they change the lives of the people. And that's why these elections must count. Please, because you see, we keep having a change of leaders. Pomp and pageantry heralded Buhari coming in 2015. We called him a messiah. But what happened?
I did not we.
So how is it that
Don't say we.
all the people that called him a messiah?
You are among those who called him a messiah.
You didn't know me in 2015, Mr. Feni.
Why are you saying we? Why are you?
A lot of Nigerians overwhelmingly voted for him. Some Nigerians overwhelmingly voted for him. There was a general consensus that Jonathan was the devil then. We can't deny the facts. There was a general consensus.
No, there was no such general consensus.
There was a general consensus.
Why are you generalizing?
No, I'm not generalizing.
Generalization mood. Why?
No, I'm not in a generalization. Let me just quickly.
Election results.
There was no such general.
Let me quickly
Even
speak.
the results is
Dr.
not
Abati, I don't
consensus.
expect you to say
But
otherwise.
Nigerians
To call a man a devil?
No,
Whose
because
consensus was that?
See,
No,
there was a general consensus.
Even the result of the
there's
election
no
showed that
such thing.
not all Nigerians voted against
Nigerians
him.
were largely disgruntled, and they wanted to
Jonathan.
vote
So we can deny it all we want
Yeah.
here today because we have seen otherwise that Buhari has not performed well. But there was a general consensus that it was Jonathan out or anything that period, which we cannot all deny.
Instead of you insisting on what others disagree with.
On Russia and Ukraine, I think to a large extent what is happening now, the West will watch it. Because Putin is pushing till the very end now. He gave a 105-minute speech and it was all guns blazing. And the West is also divided. People like Macron are saying we should still meet Russia on the conversation table. I don't know how they're going to pan this out. Let's see, time will tell.
Well, just on the naira scarcity and and responsibility in terms of the headline around INEC, actually. INEC having the funds required from CBN. I think that's quite important to highlight because one of the things they'd said, the INEC chairman had said, Professor Yakub Mahmoud had said that if they didn't get the required money, then it could, hamper, add logistics of the elections. A few days, I think it was yesterday, the service chiefs had reported about them assuring of the security of the elections come Saturday. CBN has now come out to say that we have given INEC the required logistics. So it seems like all hands are on deck to ensure that we won't have excuses come Saturday that the reason why certain things couldn't happen. They received the money, let INEC ensure that Nigerians are able to go to the polls on Saturday and exercise their franchise.
Okay, let me start from the particular to the general. To say that today is Ash Wednesday, which was the beginning of the Lenten season, when Christians, go through a 40-day period of fasting and reconciliation with God. Incidentally, this year, today, February 22, is also the beginning of the Sha'ban, 1444 AH, the 8th month in the Muslim calendar, marking again, signaling the Ramadan season, which will come shortly. So we find ourselves at a moment in Nigeria whereby the two major faiths will be, going through fasting, will be looking onto the eye of God. The symbolism of both Lent and even Ramadan that will come is about good behavior, godliness, sacrifice. And we hope that we will see these virtues on display as Nigerians go to the polls on Saturday. Because what you find in Nigeria is that there is a gap between public morality and private morality. Everybody troops to the church, everybody troops to the mosque, everybody observes the religious rituals, but we don't see it in their behavior. Stop looking at me, Eveni. I'm not accusing you. I'm just making a general statement.
You are desired to deliver homily this morning, Robert.
The second point that I would like to make has to do with the banknotes. I read a very sad story of a gentleman at the Lagos State University, Ojo, who went to a bank in the school, Wema Bank, and having stayed on the queue for a very long time, the man just slumped and died. They tried to revive him, but he failed. So only God knows how many other people have died on queues looking for money. The hardship that people are going through is real. And in Ogun State, the Bankers Forum in Ogun State has directed that all banks should be shut down in the state because of attacks, repeated attacks on banks across the state, which I think is unfortunate. But people are also optimistic that after Saturday, maybe those who are holding money will bring out the money.
Normalcy will return.
That normalcy will return. As for Putin, I said yesterday that Putin is not interested in peace. What he has done is to suspend the treaty between Russia and the United States on the deployment of nuclear missiles and weapons, of that sort. And what it means, of course, is that we're going back to the Cold War. And it is instructive that yesterday, when he gave his State of the Nation address, he was in fact blaming the West, what he called the decadent West, for the attack on Ukraine. Now, that connection, I've not been able to establish it, but, that was his State of the Nation address. And he's even saying that those sanctions have no effect on Russia, that Russia has been able to work out its supply chain. So as we approach the first anniversary of the Russo-Ukrainian war, it doesn't seem to look like diplomacy is going to solve the problem. It doesn't look like sanctions will solve the problem. It is the rest of the world that will suffer as a result of this. But of course, it got a quick riposte yesterday because about an hour later, President Biden was in Poland, was in Warsaw. And, he just, without necessarily addressing him directly, he said that, Russia and Putin pose a threat to freedom and democracy on the global stage. But we just hope and wish that, the war will be resolved so that the people of Ukraine can have peace, so that, people like Mr. Feni who like to eat bread, the bakeries that he patronizes will have access to wheat. And the world can be a better place for all. Thank you very much, Feni.
Thank you.